Hey everybody, I am coming making this video message, and I want to let you know to avoid or either remove anybody who does not bring out the best in you. The reason why I'm making this video message is because people will keep certain family members and associates, or even stay in a relationship, and the person that they're having in their inner circle brings out the worst in them. They are not growing, and they have to fight to stay delivered from who they used to be in the past. And let me just give you all some examples, because I know it will help some of you. There are some of you all, you've come from a place where you did not used to know how to handle conflict. Maybe you used to be very angry. Maybe you used to be the type of person, you were really insecure in your relationships with people. So for instance, if some of you may have been married before, or maybe you dated someone, or you dated several different people in the past, and you caught them always lying to you, or you caught the person always cheating on you, you may be at a place now where you have not managed, or you have not been able to iron out maybe a little jealousy streak that you have. And I'm not talking about jealousy that is at a dangerous level or at an unhealthy level. I'm just saying you may be the type of man or woman that when you see the person you're in a relationship with, or the person you're talking to, when you see them talking to the opposite sex, it makes you question if they really care about you. It makes you question if they really love you, or it makes you feel a little bit uncomfortable that they are talking to the opposite sex, because you're questioning if there is more outside of the conversation going on, maybe behind the scenes. And that person in your life, they know this about you. They know that you have an insecurity or a jealousy streak. And so they will intentionally do something to cause you to react, because they know that is the area you are weak in. Another example is you may have somebody in your circle, and they know you have not been able to manage or iron out anger that's in you, or your temperament has not been composed all the way. And so they will set up scenarios, they will hit below the belt on purpose, and they will say certain things to trigger you or cause you to react in a very ugly, negative way. And there are a lot of people out here, they love to highlight your flaws, they love to highlight your failures, they love to highlight the areas of you that are not appealing. And so every single time this person or these people come around you, you are questioning if they really care about you. You are questioning if they really love you. You are questioning if they are a true friend. You are questioning if they really are a supporter of you. You are questioning so many things. You are always on eggshells. You are always wondering, you know what, when this person comes around, I wonder if the rest of the day or the evening is going to go smooth, because every time they come around, I'm walking on eggshells. I'm anxious. I'm nervous. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what they're going to say. I don't know what bag they're going to come out of. And so it's causing you to probably go back to a place that you've worked hard to come out of. You are finding yourself having to fight to stay delivered from whatever it is you used to do and who you used to be before that person came, or those people came into your life. I am here to let you know you have to remove people who do not bring out the best in you. Now let me make something very clear here, because the world, they always have an answer for everything that goes on when you make a personal choice that is no longer serving you. The world is always coming up with an answer. They always whitewash something. It's a lot of backwash, or there is a high level of resistance when you as a human being, you make a decision that fits you and it makes you happy, depending on what it is. And so one of the things we hear is a lot of people say, well, if you don't have any friends, it's something wrong with you. Well, if you cut off a lot of people, that means you have a character flaw. Well, if you are not patient with certain people, that means you're selfish, you're arrogant, you're a narcissist. People sometimes will always go all off the deep end, all in left field, instead of looking at a situation for what it is and saying, you know what, she cuts off certain people, or he cuts off certain people because they bring out the worst in them. I noticed when she had him in her life, or he had her in his life, or they had those people in their life, they were always angry, they were always short-tempered, they were always argumentative, they were always nervous, they were just overall a very negative person. Now that they have gotten rid of those old friends, or broke up with their boyfriend, or broke up with their girlfriend, or cut off this certain family member, they love them, they'll be supportive of them, but they don't allow them to be in their inner circle anymore, and they've set boundaries to protect themselves. People will always say that maybe you have a character flaw, or maybe something is wrong with you. I am a very strong believer, and I tell you all the time, you cannot get caught up in what the world says when it pertains to you doing something that is not only respected and honored by God, but it is better for you. It brings out the best in you. It's a given that we should all extend a lot of grace and a lot of mercy to other people, because we need grace and mercy, and we need people to be patient with us. If you think about any point of your life where you were not your best self, you just were not the best version of yourself, trust and believe you can right now call out at least 2 people who were patient with you in that particular season of your life, where you were throwing your tantrums and cursing people out and going off, or you were fighting, or you were just a negative Nancy. There were some people at some point in your life, they dealt with that. They dealt with you. They put up with you. They still loved you. They still cared for you. They still highly respected you. And so it's a given that we need to extend grace and mercy. But there comes a point when weeks and weeks and months and months and years and years and years and years pass you by, and you have a certain caliber of people who are around you, and you are never in a good state when they come around. You are always on the edge. You are always finding yourself being reminded of the old man or the old woman you used to be, or you are finding yourself thinking of the trauma that you've come from, or ran from, or removed yourself from when that particular person or those particular people come around. On today, I'm going to say it again. You need to remove people who do not bring out the absolute best in you. You should always be honest with people and tell them, you know what? When you come around me, you always have something negative to say about me, and you always want to argue, and you always want to pick out what you personally feel is a flaw of mine or a failure of mine. And so from this point forward, I don't want you to bring these things up or talk about these things when you are in my presence, because it's pointless. And if that person does not respect that, then there will be an indication to you that they don't need to be in your life. This is no different from certain friends who they begin to show out when they get around other people. You ever have that, where you're around certain family members, or you are around certain friends, or like I said, it may be somebody you're in a relationship with, and when certain people come around, they show out in front of them, or they take shots at you. You become the butt of the joke. every time this particular person has their mutual friends come around, and you're left looking like the clown. You're left people as far as them looking at you and laughing at you. And so all I'm saying to you all is that people who don't bring out the best in you, they become a liability to your deliverance. They become a liability to your composure. They become a liability to your mental and emotional and spiritual health. You do not owe it to anybody to keep them around because of the history you share with them. So what? You went to grammar school with them. So what? You went to high school with them. So what? You went to college with them. So what? Your mother and their mother are best friends, or their father is best friends with their father. However it goes, it doesn't matter. You don't owe it to anybody to keep them around while they are beating you down and making you be an ugly version of the old you. Let people say that you're a narcissist. Let them think that you are arrogant. Let them think that you are flawed as far as your character goes because you have no problem cutting certain people off. There are some people, they have to cut off all of their friends and get all new friends because their old friends are the friends they had when they were in trauma. So ultimately, they had a trauma bond with past friends. And so now that God has delivered them, now that they have changed who they are and they've done the work, they cannot be around people who was always arguing with them, going back and forth with them, and who was highlighting and pointing certain things out concerning them that were not positive. That's just the point of this message. That's the bottom line of this message, just to be so honest with you guys. You all have got to stop making excuses for people who bring out the worst in you. You've got to stop getting caught up in what the world says, because the world and other people will tell you what you should and shouldn't be doing. But they don't have to live with the result or the advice that they give you. And when they want to keep somebody around, or they want people to stay in their life because of the history or because of how they personally feel about them, if you challenge them on that, they are not going to go for it. They will more than likely reject your advice and tell you you are out of line to tell them to cut somebody off who is not bringing the best out of them. And so you need to be unapologetic about telling certain friends, you know what? I don't need you in my life because I am fighting harder when you come around. I am really fighting to keep my composure when you come around. It's just something about you. It's something about your personality. It's something about your energy. It's something about your spirit to where when you come around, you just are not a positive influence over me. You are just not a person who highlights and speaks of the beautiful things about me. And that's a horrible place to be in your relationships with people. You will have people who they just don't really see anything beautiful in you. It's not that it's not anything beautiful in you, but they make it their business to be intentional about not talking about the beautiful, positive things about you. They only want to talk about what they've heard or what they think, or they will start a fire intentionally around you because that is who they are, because they have a lot within them that they have not ironed out or worked out, or they have not been delivered from certain things. Let me tell you all something. When you've put in the work, when you have put in the work, my beautiful brothers and sisters, when you've put in the work to change your attitude for the better, when you have put in the work to be delivered from a place that God took you from, a very dark place for some of you all, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. When you have put in the work to sift out your inner circle like a fine-tooth comb, okay? Don't apologize for it. Don't ever be stressed out because of you keeping certain people in your life who they don't bring out the best in you. They don't see the beautiful things about you. Again, not because it's not there, but because they just choose not to. They want to overlook it and only talk about anything that they personally believe is negative. I hope this message helps some of you. I really hope it does. But just stop apologizing and getting caught up. You've got to be unapologetic. Everybody does not mean you well. Everybody does not want to see you grow. Everybody does not like to see your growth, which is why when they come around, they will do and say certain things to make you act a fool, because they want to keep you in a state to try to trick you or convince you that there has not really been any real change in you. That's the video message. Well, guys, it's time for me to go because I have some other things to do. The Lord willing, I will be back with another video message. If any one of you have taken offense to anything I spoke about in this video message, it's okay. It's all right. I'm not worried about it. I am not concerned because I know you will forgive me in the morning.